Listen, self-care is not just pedicures and manicures, although it can be.
Self-care is radically taking care of yourself, and that supports your mental health in so many great ways.
To make sure you don't miss any conversations around this, mental health, sex, and relationships,
subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit the bell to be notified every time we post a new video.
By the end of this video, you will not only understand why self-care is so important for your mental health, but you're gonna have a tool to be able to use self-care in your life every single day. First and foremost, self-care is a way of being. Now I want you to think of a self-care activity. What did you think of? What came to mind? Is it something that you were doing? Now, while it can sometimes definitely be a doing thing, you cannot do self-care until you look at self-care as a way of being.
Think about it this way. Sometimes not doing something is just as important as doing something.
Now you may be thinking to yourself, well, then what exactly is self-care? We want to give you 3 examples. Number 1, taking a mental health day. I was recently interviewed for an article on the website Brit & Co. And their question was, how do you know when it's time to take a mental health day? And my answer was, when you're not enjoying anything anymore. Now, while I'm really glad we're having this conversation, wouldn't it be even better if we took proactive care so that we never got to the point of needing the mental health day? Take that mental health day before the mental health symptoms are there. A mental health day is a great example of not doing. It is a way of being for self-care. You're not going to work. You're not doing the activity. You're staying home or doing something that fills you up.
Now, the second example of self-care that we have for you is a personal one for me because I love taking Epsom salt baths. So I didn't always love to do this. This is something that I learned out of necessity. I have some minor back problems. I bartended for 9 years standing on unsupported ground. I have bad knees because of it. And I learned that taking an Epsom salt bath was great for removing the physical pain. But what I didn't know is that by doing it over and over again, I was starting to form a habit of taking care of myself by doing a bath once a week to make sure that my body felt good. But then when I felt good inside, I felt better up here because I knew I was taking better care of myself. And to this day, I still love doing it.
Number 3, time for a personal example from me. I love to sing. I absolutely love it. In fact, if I don't sing approximately 10 show tunes every week, my mental health symptoms come back. So how do I make sure that this happens when I live in an apartment in New York City and don't drive anywhere? Well, I do things like this. I sing whenever I can. I sing in the shower, sorry honey, and all over the apartment. There are days where I actually have time blocked off on my calendar, singing time.
Do any of these self-care ideas resonate with you? If so, type it out in the comments. And if nothing that we've said sounds like it would be the right fit for your self-care, that's okay too. Put a 0 in the comments. Self-care is not a catch-all for every single person. There's not one thing that works for everybody. It's all about getting curious with yourself to see what you need to feel good.
Now let's talk about prioritizing yourself so that you can give to others. I want you to think about yourself as an actual gas tank. If you don't have an overflow of gas, all that gas is going to be going to fueling you, and there's nothing left for anybody else.
If you truly want to take care of yourself and be able to be supportive for the people around you in your life, then you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself first and foremost before you can support anyone else. Once we start to experience symptoms of not having self-care, anxiety, depression, a declining mental health, it becomes so much harder to get started.
When my anxiety acts up, it's usually because I'm not in a good self-care mindset. I'm either not doing enough to take care of myself, or I'm doing too much and not being enough. When we first met, we sucked at self-care. And not just the doing of it, but especially especially the being of it.
And that's one of the reasons that we created our family meeting, and we're sharing it with you. The link is going to be below in the comments, and it's going to help you take really good care of yourself.
It'll make sure that self-care becomes a way of being in your life and not just the occasional pedicure. If this video was helpful, please let us know by liking and commenting below, and share this with a friend who needs to hear this message.
Absolutely, and when you start taking care of you, the ripple effects in your life are endless. It is so beneficial.
And don't forget to download your copy of our family meeting. The link is right below. And let us know how it goes in the comments. We're cheering you on.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in our next video. Much great mental health. I'm going off script.
Remember, if your gas tank isn't overflowing, when my anxiety...
Self-care,
Self-care?
All right. Nope.
Until you... Until you...
Hold on, I got a whole thing.
No, you could just start.
Just giving myself some applause here, warming up.